I cheated on someone before. I'm not proud of it, but it's my truth. This is my cheating story. I figured out why men cheat and how you can spot the signs of a cheater. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. It is Wednesday, so this is a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is our midweek reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men who love black gay men. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Now let's get into the episode. Today, I'm going to tell you the story about when I cheated on my ex. Judge me later, because y'all do the same shit. But first, at Who Is Sammy Austin commenting on IG saying, I love the show. Real conversations are being had. Valid points are presented. This show is definitely a gem. And a soft top would still be sticking the dominant bottom. The nouns didn't change, just the adjectives. And to that,
I say thank you.
Have you ever needed to fuck something up so deeply just so you could eventually learn the lesson?
I showed it.
When your mama told you, don't touch the iron because it's hot. You had to touch it, burn your hand off, so your lemon head self could realize, oh, it is hot. My run-in with cheating was the same way. I thought I was slick. I had all these good advice, all the good lessons swirling around me, but I still did the fucked up shit. I fucked up a good thing, a great thing. And eventually, I learned the lesson. Every week, we have conversations here on the podcast about my dating life.
My me.
But more and more people ask me, how did I come up with that idea? This episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast is brought to you in part by Dear Black Gay Men Weekly. It's our weekly newsletter. It's a quick conversation with me. What's going on in my life? How did I come up with the topic? And some insider tea about the podcast. As always, it's your favorite content creator's favorite content, and it's absolutely free to join. Just visit dearblackgaymen.com/weekly. That's dearblackgaymen.com/weekly. The link is in the description. Now, let's get back into the show. I fucked up a relationship with a good man, all because I had a fucked up idea of what commitment looked like. I've said that in relationships, the relationship itself reflects back who we are. If you fucked up, your relationship is probably fucked up. If you are insecure, there are probably aspects of your relationship that don't bring you peace. I know that because I've been insecure for a long fucking time. It may take us some time to figure out these reflections start with us, but the mirror, my friend, is staring you right in your black ass every day. Mine was a relationship I was in 10 years ago. I met this guy at Applebee's. I can remember it like it was yesterday. He was a musician. Alongside, he had a daytime job too. And I have a weird thing for church leadership. It's something about having that mic in your hand and being up there sweating and wiping your brow.
And had my Hello Kitty snapping and cracking and popping.
On top of that, he had a nice apartment, he had a good job, and he had a good set of teeth. Y'all probably realize having good teeth is a big thing for me. We ended up in, a run-of-the-mill relationship. We went to movies on the weekend. We went out on a date every once in a while. We had 2 cars and a nice apartment between us. It was a kind of relationship that now at my big age, I dream about. But back when I was 25, it was just too boring. So every once and again in our situation, our dating relationship, it was a relationship, I would get on the apps to spice up my life. That wasn't a part of our arrangement. That wasn't a part of our commitment. And I didn't know how my ex would take it, so I hid it from him. But when you're using a 2007 desktop computer with a 32-inch TV as a monitor, it's hard to conceal internet bullshit. My kink that I learned in this process is the pursuit of a hookup. When I'm horny, I like the sup messages. I like the boys sliding in my inbox asking if I'm looking. It makes me feel desired. It makes me feel wanted. Not to say that I didn't feel desired in our relationship, but it's just enough of the spice to where it gets my undercarriaging. I didn't actually fuck anybody while we were together, but I definitely cheated on him. What I figured out in this relationship, cheating isn't when you slide your dick in somebody or when they slide theirs in yours. It's not when you bust a nut. It's not even when you start to feel regret or dishonesty. Cheating is when you give anything intended for your partner to somebody else. Every relationship where two or more people are gathered, there is a commitment. There is some act or deed that the two or more of you agree that's inside the house. Some superficial arrangements are like, just don't fuck anybody. The interesting thing is that's my issue with monogamy. Most men I know who talk about monogamy, they limit their commitments to what the two or more of us do with our private parts. But the problem with that is men are so much more dynamic and nuanced than dicks and asses. If we're only willing to speak openly, explicitly, and candidly about the limitations that we are putting our partner's junk, our partner's dick, our partner's ass and mouth in, then aren't we just fetishizing our partner? A part of that is saying the other stuff in a relationship doesn't matter enough to talk about it, but that dick, that ass, that mouth, that's mine. It's dehumanizing someone. That was the issue with my dating situation when I cheated. We never said explicitly, don't cruise on the apps. We never talked about what was okay or not okay within our relationship. The funny thing is that me cruising the apps wasn't the part that my ex had a problem with. He didn't even think that was cheating when I finally came clean about it. His problem is that I was hiding it from him. In his head, the commitment that we made when we established our relationship was brutal honesty. When there was something that I was feeling, that I was sensing or experiencing, his expectation was that I would bring that to him and we deal with it together. I didn't cheat because I cruised. I didn't cheat because I pursued. I didn't cheat because I never fucked anybody else. I cheated because I lied to him. He had one definition of the commitment that I promised to live up to, and I fell short. Part of that is we didn't have enough explicit conversations about the commitment. I didn't ask enough questions. We got together and I just accepted whatever his definition of commitment was, even though I truly never understood. I didn't have enough context to have lived up to that level of commitment with that person. The second piece is I didn't live up to it because I didn't stand by my word. We all do that though, in small and large ways. Every time we agree to say to something, we make a commitment. That is a commitment to the other person to follow through. Well, you make the promise to yourself to go to the gym and you end up doom scrolling all day on TikTok. Commitment. When you tell your friend you'll be there at 9 o'clock, but it's 9:15 and you ain't even got out the bed yet. Commitment. Every second date that you're not feeling, every job you hate, every boy you like but aren't man enough to say, I like you. Those are all your commitments. And you're showing everyone around you who you are by how you live up to them. Or not. But I think the bigger lesson is about the integrity of our commitment. I think we can all agree that Black gay men can be some of the most fickle motherfuckers on the planet. Every last minute, my car is in the shop, or I got an early day in the morning, is a sign of our inability as men to be men of our word. I failed at that. Every time my partner knew I was on the apps, asked if I was on the apps, and then I lied about being on the apps. I didn't want him to think negatively of me, so I made up a story about what I was doing. But we do that all the time. You just got fucked by one dude who was closer or more convenient. So instead of just saying that, we make up any story to cancel the dick appointment that's 10 miles away. Or instead of telling the man that you're not feeling him, we ghost him. Or instead of being honest about our kinks and fetishes, about the scenes that we're in, about our actual feelings, we tell people anything to preserve the status quo of whatever they think of me, even though deep in our heart we know we're unfulfilled. Integrity is the weight that we put behind our words. It's the piece of us that makes us say, I'll be there at 9 and actually show up at 9. It's the part of us that is courageous enough to tell someone, I don't like that. It's the vulnerable part of us that is courageous enough to tell someone when we do like that or we do like them. Integrity is what you say yes to when you have every reason, every opportunity to say no. We have every opportunity to be late to something. But integrity, if you have it, will have you be on time. We have every opportunity to go with the flow, but integrity will have you standing on your convictions. We have every opportunity to forget trans people and trans rights when they are violated. We have every opportunity to not vote when we need to cast our ballot and have our voices heard. We had every opportunity to ghost that boy or conceal our feelings or not get excited even though we know that we want that man. But integrity is the piece of us that makes our election sure in a way that the world around us can see exactly who we are and what we stand for. I didn't have that much integrity with my ex. I lied to his face because I thought he would judge me based on what I was doing. Instead of telling him a truth that he actually was okay with, I told him a lie that broke our relationship. But what truth are you holding back? What feelings are you concealing to avoid consequences? If you like that boy, have you told him? If you don't like that job, are you being honest with yourself about it? What about your life needs a change that you're avoiding? Integrity comes up in our lives every day in every way. It gives us opportunity to be authentic to who we actually are. And it gives us the responsibility of being who we are every day in every way. So, dear Black gay men, tell the truth and shame the devil. That was our show. Next time, I'm going to be talking about the one thing you never ask when you're dating. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. If this episode made you feel a little more dope, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the video, and share it with someone who needs a dopeness reminder. Dear Black Gay Men Podcast is new every Wednesday. You can stream it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And thanks in advance for a 5-star rating. It really helps us find new listeners. We go live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with our interview series, Dear Black Gay Men Live. So follow at Dear Black Gay Men on social so you never miss a thing. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men Podcast, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.